Knowing the attack is coming, as it always comes in Glow, does nothing to calm your nerves. There's only so long you can handle doing nothing, pretending like everything is going to be fine. As the month draws longer, you find yourself almost compulsively checking the walls, scanning the tree line for the first sign of trouble. You're there, and you see them. Dark on dark shapes coming out of the forest, perfectly silent. You watch with the lookouts as more and more figures amass at the forest's edge. Minutes pass as the horde pushes into the firebreak, numbering at least, must have been in the thousands, more animals than you've ever seen in one place. The ground is choked with a teeming carpet of smaller creatures, darting in and amongst the legs of... No. Oh no. The forest bends as a faceless emerges from its depths, followed by two more. The mood on the walls is discouraged. One faceless destroyed your colony. Two faceless required an irresponsible number of explosives to take down. How are you supposed to handle three? Who the fuck are you? A single creature cuts to the horde and stands at the front like a general leading their army. There's something deeply unsettling about it. Some sort of chimeric beast on its bottom half, wrapped in tattered strips of flesh. From torso up, it looks almost humanoid. Most upsetting is how its collarbone seems to unzip in a chaotic, fleshy mess of teeth, revealing a neck of glistening sinew and muscle. Its insectoid face seems to truly see you in a shrewd intelligence in its milky eyes. The creature steps forward and speaks. "My name is Noctilucent," they call out, with a voice like dry grass. Though they speak your language fluently, they have an accent you can't place. "You have trespassed in this garden long enough. For millennia, I've been tasked with keeping this planet safe from invasive species. Extreme weather, plague, famine, the migration of predators. All tactics I have used to ensure an invasive species cannot find a foothold where they do not belong. Controlling you by indirect means has proven ineffective," they say, glaring up at the row of horrified colonists atop the walls. "I can no longer ignore the destruction you have caused and the threat you represent to the planetary ecosystem. However..." Sim steps out from the tree line and stands beside Noctilucent. His eyes find yours unerringly from across the firebreak. "Some gardeners argue that you have the capacity for reason," Noctilucent continues. "So I have come to offer you an alternative. Your unconditional surrender." Noctilucent smirks up at you. "Surrender is the correct word, is it not? Something your singular, violent brains can understand. The terms are simple. Humanity will cease reproduction, cease expansion, and in return, be allowed to live out your remaining lifespans within the bounds of your walls. Do you accept?" She beckons you forward, too. This is the moment you've been trying to make happen. "Solana, there's no way people are going to accept never having children," she says. We'll go extinct. Can't you make them give us a better deal?" You look down at Noctilucent, a figure of malevolent patience across the firebreak. This might be the only chance you get, but you can try. "This isn't even the deal the Overseer offered?" Noctilucent, "Yeah, dude's being a chuckle fuck." The Overseer did not mention that the slow extinction of humanity was part of the deal. The other colonists would never accept something as drastic as forced sterilization, living like pets or curiosities in a zoo, dwindling into oblivion behind these walls. You couldn't even ask them to make the choice, which leaves you two. We need a better deal. Noctilucent's patience is running out. Behind them, the amassed animal army lies in wait. "The offer is already generous," they say. "Do you think I consulted with the venomous slapfingers when they overhunted the abyssal driftworms? Or the creeping crossthorn vine when it choked the southern shoreline? No," they spit. "I did what was needed to restore balance. as my gardener directive entails. Sim lays his hand on Noctilucent's arm. The humans can be reasoned with, he says firmly. Just hear them out, please. He turns to you. What do you propose, Solana? Persuasion. Hard. Okay, buddy. One random card is locked? That's a dick move. Fuck you. Okay, we have the double, so I think we're gonna be good. I want to hold on to gems because I'm hoping we fish out the gem card. So let me do that. There it is. +2 to gems. All right, we want to double that. Put this in, and we put this in. Let's just make it very silly. How much mushwood logs do we have? 23. All right, we'll go down to 10 logs. Oh, I just got an achievement. Get a single card to value 50 or higher. All right. The power of the secret Fun Times Club. Beware our sticks of victory. Oh, okay. That's why I was like, I don't know if I should spend everything to meme hand, because I wasn't sure if there's going to be more. So I'm glad I only went down to 10. You as well spoken for a pest, Noctilucent concedes. However, is humanity even capable of considering the survival of all creatures over their own, even if it means accepting limitations? I was going to say, there's no way it was that easy. It's still fitting in the game for it to be a skill check. Now, if it's going to do a yellow and a blue, I feel like there's going to be a red check next. You know, just kind of like testing all your stats. And I would assume if we have a red check after this, because the challenge stuff, you know, and it was said during... if I remember correctly, when I first played the game, it mentioned like challenges, like even if you fail them, you may not like fail them. So it could be just like you need to succeed on 2 out of the 3 to win, or it could be it's varying degrees of success. Like if you get 1 success, it's minor, 2, it's medium, 3, it's major. Certainly interesting. Once we finish tonight, I'm gonna not be worried about spoilers. I'm gonna be diving deep to figure everything out on this game. Yeah, give me +5 kudos. Yeah, 5 kudos for convincing the aliens to let us stay and have babies. Sure, why not? Can I do this? 4, 5, 6, 9. Whatever. Okay. +2 for every other social card. Okay. Then we do this. We do this, and this, and this. One complaint I would say I do have is this game has been good about like when it has +1 to mental cards, it has the +1 already factored in here. It's not doing that with equipment. And I can't swap equipment out mid-deck. So I really wish the gem cards were properly adjusted while they're in my hand. Because it's a little confusing and just a little bit inconsistent. Yeah, I got 6 kudos from that. You argue that the success of the Vertumna project in leaving Earth shows that you've learned from your mistakes. Maybe humanity as a whole wasn't able to change trajectory back on Earth, but the colony self-selected those who could. Dr. Lucent listens to all this, looking a little more convinced. Have you learned anything from living here, though? They ask. Can you even coexist with this planet's native wildlife? I'm glad this is an animals challenge. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm gonna get this out of my fucking deck. Do that. 10 kudos if total equals goal. That's kind of funny. Alright, so we got a 6, 7. That's an 8. Actually, hold on. So we want to hold on to our big gem cards. What we can do is +2 for every social card, +2 to the last card. 5, 6, and then 7. Alright. Alright, +2 and from gem cards. We get this here, we get this here, we get this here. We get this here. Woo-wee! Super goal, baby. +2 animals. Thank you. Dr. Lucent seems impressed. You've learned all that in 10 years. Seems you aren't completely ignorant. Very well, they say, motioning for the army to stand down. You have argued your case and shown you can adapt to your surroundings. The Overseer has agreed to grant the humans reproductive autonomy and limited expansion within your ecological niche. Dr. Lucent offers. Additionally, the gardeners will ensure the continued health of this valley. Fertile soil, clean water, favorable animal migration patterns, and so on. Behind you, colonists are beginning to carefully come forward to listen, murmuring in wonder. To be clear, Dr. Lucent continues, there will be no hunting, clearing, mining, or expanding beyond the valley. Humanity must live in harmony with nature, rather than attempt to control it. Dr. Lucent adds, you will come to understand that you do not stand above the needs of the planet. Your mom comes up beside you and puts her hand on your shoulder. It's what we wanted this whole time, she says in disbelief. When we left Earth, this is everything we dreamed it would be. But the Helios arrived on a military mission, carrying their burdens from Earth, and may resent any deal with the gardeners. The decision may not be popular, it will give humanity a chance at peace. A true peace. We agree. The animals surrounding the colony begin to filter back into the trees, disappearing into the gloom of the late glow wilderness. Your knees buckle. You feel like you could sleep for a week. All around you, you hear people crying, in relief, maybe, or fear. Tears pour down your face, unbidden as the colony comes out to clamor around you. Many are smiling, and some look numb or scared. Some look angry. It hasn't sunk in yet, even as you're hoisted onto someone's shoulders and paraded back to the colony. You did it. You won. The party continues well into the night, and for a few days after that as well, until the suns rise above the horizon once again. It begins to set that the colony will never again see another monster attack, or famine, or plague. Most people think this sounds pretty good. The others are soundly overreeled for now. As for you, now you can focus on just being your best self without worrying about day-to-day survival. That relief carries you through until quiet breaks on a new year, your 20th birthday. You turn 20 amidst a time of tremendous joy and unity in the colony. You aren't a teenager anymore, so I guess that makes you an adult. Though in many ways, you've already been one for a long time. You step out onto your balcony to greet the new day. Start the rest of your life on Vertumna. Willing to bet Nem is one of the ones that's angry. Peace means her brother died for nothing. Yeah. Hopefully Nem gets the counseling she needs to process her grief on that, and like you know, two different sentient species, you know? There's a communication problem, you could say. You've reached your 20th birthday. Botanist? What? What? This is literally the same. How did I get botanist again? I'm so confused, and I'm mildly salty. One of the generic ends because you didn't do a special one. But like, botany wasn't even the first thing I maxed out. What? How is there not? There's gotta be a generic end for various things. Yeah, I'm just spinning mad over here. Thanks, Roleko. I guess we'll click through and see if there's anything new. All right, well, Marzipan's gonna be new. Ah, the indomitable Marzipan. That's Governor Marzipan to you? Mars learns from her... You know what? I bet it calculated off the last thing I did. Last thing I worked at. Because I worked at Geoponics, it grabbed the generic Geoponics ending. And if I worked at any of the other areas, I would have gotten a generic one from one of them. That rustles my jimmies. Whatever. I don't know. I'm a little annoyed that I got the same ending as last time, but other than that, I feel like we accomplished everything we set out to do on this second round through. So I'm quite happy. Mars learns from her flirtation with capitalism and, true to her word, abandons her plan to turn kudos into a true currency. She wants to raise everyone's standard of living together, not create a luxurious nouveau riche on Vertumna. Steering the colony under gardenership requires a calm hand. Mars initially chafes at the idea that she can't build the beautiful metropolis of her dreams. However, with much of the external pressures taken off the colony, Vertumna already is a paradise. Few people need to labor for subsistence anymore, so more can devote themselves to the arts. Just as Mars had hoped, peace brings an unprecedented time of cultural growth and, eventually, the luxury she craved. Just a little different than she imagined. As for her love life, Mars is never really one to settle down for the long term. You date on and off for a few years, never exclusively. She enjoys having you on her arm and parading you around at the colony functions, always showers you with presents and attention behind closed doors. You have a good thing, but eventually you fall out of the habit of sleeping together and drift apart as your lives change. She enjoys a string of lovers. Tangent? Okay. Utopia? Okay. Rex? Makes sense. And a number of people from the Heliopause. Everyone wants her, and nobody can cage her. Yeah, Mars has got some game. Did I not catch the flirting with Tangent? No, I did not catch any of the flirting with Tangent. She does eventually have one child, just for the novelty. She enjoys being the center of attention while carrying a surrogate pregnancy, but enjoys being the child's wealthy, generous Auntie Marzipan even more. Mars remains surrounded by as much luxury as one could expect on an exoplanet. And though she complains about wanting more, she never seems anything less than happy about her life. I forgot. I'm going to fucking cry when we get to Tammy. Which endings have I gotten? I've only gotten 2, because this is my second run through. Our first one, I think, is a generic loss, because we didn't have peace. We didn't, you know, do well defending. So I think it's a generic ending. There's one I discovered, and I'm pretty sure it's an ending, but I didn't take it, of going out during glow, and then this faceless showed up. But I didn't take it because I didn't want to, like, reload. And I didn't want it to be my first ending that I saw. Your friend Cal grew up, but he never lost his boyish charm. Thanks to the Actually, let's get to this first. Thanks to the gardeners enticing nearby plants to grow heavy with fruit and nuts for the colony, Cal gets to do what he loves, getting dirty and growing things for fun. Okay, so we've already seen this part of Cal. This one's new, though. Cal and Tammy formalized their relationship after a few years. Before the colony, they state their intentions to live together, loving and caring for each other as a family unit. It's a beautiful ceremony. Echidna is the first of many children they raise together. Together, they have a tidy little sum of children. And that's the only thing tidy about them. Their children grow up digging in dirt, eating bugs, nearly getting mauled by farm equipment, and having a great time being kids. Cal dotes on every one of them and adores his partner, Tammy. Hey, homozygote! Welcome on by Girl Boss Gaslight Sword Murder. Girl Boss Gaslight Sword Murder. Girl Boss Gaslight Sword Murder. Sword Murder. Sword Murder. Welcome. Resule, I think you copied 1, 2. Oh! How did that happen? That's pretty funny. Welcome to the Ziggurat Resute, and welcome, homozygote. I assume you were Elden ringing some bells over there. I hope you were able to make some progress. I don't know how long you were streaming, but take a bunch of head pats. But at the very least, I implore you, stand up, leave a piss, wiggle it out, drink a water. Probably don't do it in that order. I would recommend a more optimal order that doesn't make a mess everywhere. If you don't know me, I'm Dreki Ormer, Draconic Serpent, Flightless Dragon, or simply Worm on the internet. We're actually going through sort of like the endgame epilogue sort for Teenage Exocolonist. So there's a short bit longer so you're kind of gonna just get a little bit of exposition, I guess, which I guess if you want to be blind to the gameplay is okay. Just give you an idea of a possible ending, how things could be. So probably just gonna be a lot of me doing a bunch of narration, not so much gameplay. But I am happy to report we succeeded in our coup of the fascist. We kicked the dick and elected a proper exocolonist into leadership. So, you know, everyone was saved. The fascists are out of power. Overall, I think things turned out pretty damn good. Yeah, stuck on a new Girl Boss Sword Knight. Millennia wasn't enough apparently. You can watch everyone being happy and well in this epilogue. Play yourself and see how many lives you ruin. Oh, yeah. And I'm probably gonna fucking cry still whenever we get to... it's probably the next person. Oh, no, it's Socks. I still think Socks is a good character. Didn't interact a lot with them this playthrough, but I love them in the first one. I didn't mean to click. Fuck! Okay, so this is not new. Without the burden of leadership, Tangent is able to devote herself to pushing the limitations of medicinal science. Medical science. Particularly when it comes to mental health. She makes huge strides in developing genetic engineering, pioneering unobtrusive changes to the brain that increases resistance to depression and anxiety. The relationship between Tang and Dice flourishes again, as researching their own biology helps them understand what their mother was going through when she ended her life, and they're able to support each other through grieving both her and the relationship they were denied. She champions the creation of a new, permanent mental health professional at the colony. Aided by her treatment, mental health improves for everyone. Maybe her brush with genocide made her realize she needed to think more about the repercussions of her actions. You know she's happier now, focusing on something that couldn't possibly be used for evil. So to explain for those of you not familiar with the game, and I'm not going to explain everything because I would be explaining way too much. This isn't the place to be talking about it, but to kind of talk about the genocide bit, because that's a big landmine to be thrown in and not know the context. So we're on an alien planet, and the fascist faction showed up, and the fascist leader was basically going to execute a bunch of people if they didn't, a bunch of the science persons, if they didn't work on basically a way to pacify the native alien life so that humans could take over the planet and populate it as like a new Earth kind of thing. That's sort of the whole situation. But we were able to discover the notes and then basically get the fascists to back down and abandon the plan, which is good because genocide bad. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but for Lum, you gotta fucking say genocide bad. Don't do a genocide. It's not good. Generally considered amongst sane people, not a thing to do. Her love of life remains fairly private, though she's not as frigid as she's always claimed. You hear from the colony gossips that she carries on with a string of casual relationships, mostly with other scientists, mostly women. She donates genetic material to a number of children, but doesn't choose to raise any of her own. She's quite picky about their genetic enhancements, obsessing over any markers of anxiety and depression that run in her family. But ultimately, her children grow up healthy and in loving families far removed from Tang's own childhood. It's a bittersweet reminder for her. Tangent lives and dies in the shadow of what she almost caused to happen on Vertumna. Knowing that she almost killed every living thing on the planet weighs heavily on her for the rest of her days. Unfortunately, even with genetic alteration, the human body was not made to withstand long periods without sleep. And Tangent's willful negligence in taking care of herself certainly doesn't help. She develops a heart condition in her early 60s that outpaces the healing capacity of medbeds and eventually takes her life. Oh, that sucks. Dice. Your friend Dice keeps on exploring. Dice is instrumental to the colony's transition to Gardener authority. Together, the two of you provide an example of fearless submission to the forces of nature. Dice actually talks to people about everything he's seen in the wild, the incredible and the horrifying, and champions the idea of being a part of it, not in control of it. The idea that peace with nature involves cooperation and compromise, not subjugation, is unpopular, but being unpopular has never stopped Dice before. It's almost not a surprise when Dice admits to you that he's in love with Sim. It's hard for him to explain the depths and intimacy of their relationship. That's when Dice is with Sim. He never feels a sense of completion, of love, that he's never felt amongst humans. Sim shows him things, teaches him things, not just about himself, but about all life. And not just in the present, but across all of time. You've never seen Dice talk about anything with such passion. You keep his secret from the others. Dice is your friend. He deserves to be happy. Dice continues his work as an ambassador for gardenership for many decades, until one day, he announces that he's leaving. In recognition of his lifetime of service to the planet, the Overseer has extended an offer to make Dice a gardener. He's made a lot of friends since his loner years, and his ascendance to gardenerhood is celebrated across the colony, even by Tangent, having long reconciled their differences. For years afterward, people report seeing strangely docile animals approach the colony, watch for a few hours, and then slip away into the forest. It's a comfort knowing Dice will always be out there, somewhere. Oh, Tammy! Oh, balm for my soul. Oh, jeez. I knew I'd cry at this. Oh, fuck. Worth it. Worth it all. Your friend Tammy blossoms into a fine mother. Not just to her own children, but to every person in the colony who needs a mother's love. Cal and Tammy's commitment to ceremony is the event of the decade, bedecked with flowers, streamers, and holographic images of unicorns and fairy tale castles. They stand before the colony with Echidna and profess their intentions to live together as a family unit, a foregone conclusion for most, as Tammy is already beginning to show her second pregnancy. The 3, soon 4, then many more, of them are a symbol of hope for your growing colony. They live on a homestead near Geoponics, and their home is always filled with love and laughter. Tammy insists on cooking for you on your weekly family dinners. She even begins to get pretty good at it. Quite without meaning to, Tammy becomes an advocate for the communal raising of children, just as you yourselves were raised. The more militant Helios resist, not wanting to associate with Stratos' hippie nonsense. As the colony grows, so too does her influence over the next generation. Uncle Tonin couldn't have been more proud of his daughter, or his score of grandchildren. He dotes on them relentlessly whenever he's home from expedition. Though Aunt Anne stays on as the chief steward well into her 90s, Tammy takes over the new creche and becomes something of a mythical figure in the colony. Auntie Tammy in her own right. There's no child born who doesn't know the safety and warmth of Tammy's arms. Your buddy Rex grows from a good boy to a good man. He continues to work hard on the bar, turning it into the place he always dreamed, where people can come to unwind from a long day, enjoy some libations, dance their butts off, maybe find some love. He gets a reputation for being a matchmaker. In a small colony, there aren't a lot of romantic options, but Rex has an eye for figuring out who would be a good match together. Giving Rex a kiss for luck becomes a tradition among those looking for love. And if some people find something a little more temporary than love with Rex, that's their business. Rex just wants to have fun. He doesn't discriminate. He enjoys having a string of lovers. Implies that he's consecutive in his infections. It's really more of a big puppy pile of lovers. Sometimes when he tells you about his not-so-romantic adventures, you have to beg him to stop just because it's too confusing. Rex insists he's not complicated at all. It's just kind of true. He's so easygoing that it just seems to work for him. He still loves the idea of having kids and contributes to a few of his own. He keeps up good relationships with his co-parents and spends tons of time with his children. In the colony, there's no stigma against single parenthood, and his children all grow up loving their great dad, even if he doesn't live with them. I love how Rex grows up and just immediately decides to wear the sluttiest outfit in the whole colony. Positive. I mean, that's Rex! Rex always seems abundantly happy with his lot in life. Like crashing on Vertumna was the best thing that ever happened to him. It's remarkable that the heliopause could have made someone like him, but you're glad it did. To be fair, like, at least he doesn't have to worry about taking his shirt off. Like, it's always basically off. He slows down a little as time goes on, mellowing out and becoming more quiet in his self-confidence. He confides in you that his dog genes will probably mean that his life will be a little bit shorter than the average human's, but he wouldn't trade a minute of it. Symbiosis, the bridge between two peoples. Undying, never aging, ever patient Sim remains one of your closest confidants. For a few years, it's quite common to see gardeners move around the colony in various forms, teaching the humans about the history of Vertumna and how to live in harmony with the land. Sim is one of them, of course, and the only one who doesn't treat you like some kind of curiosity in a zoo. After a few years, the other gardeners leave humanity to figure things out on their own. Sim stays on to act as an emissary and moves into the colony to live with you full time. You specifically. You move into a gardener-like abode where Sim can form a connection to the array, glowing pool and all. It's an odd roommate situation, prone to some sitcom-level hijinks, as you work out the finer details of sharing your space with an alien, but your friendship helps him acclimate to living in the colony. You and Sim enjoy the bachelor life for a few years, becoming better friends through your many domestic miscommunications. He's a good roommate, though a little dense when it comes to picking up when you would like some private time, please, Sim. Though a few brave souls try, Sim never bonds with anyone in the colony in a romantic sense, but instead cultivates many new friendships. You think Sim enjoys living in the colony, but he never quite fits in. He reincarnates a few times into forms that look more human, but he also once famously returned to the colony as a swarm of heckle bees, just to prove a point about how Gardner consciousness transcends form. It's a bit unnerving, but that's Sim for you. Nomi continues to pursue their dream as a holo novel creator, but they never stop dabbling in all sorts of things, just the way they like it. Nomi's not really interested in dating the same way everyone else is. It takes them a long time to warm up to the idea of getting physical with someone. They need to love and feel comfortable with them first. You're their friend and confidant as they begin to explore the world of dating, always ready to doodle dreamily on someone's picture or come running with a box of tissues. You wouldn't say they're unlucky in love, just that love seems slow to find them, and Nomi isn't determined to go hunting for it. They'll always have you, though. Between you and Rex, Nomi's full up on best friendship. They say that's all you really need in life. Would you love me if I was a swarm of heckle bees? Exactly. Would you love me if I was a Dreki? Looks up you with jump as a mushroom spider with a mushroom octopus spider. They never lose their fascination with Vertumnan animals. One of their hyperfixations leads them to volunteer as a rancher. They begin working one fateful day when the explorers bring back a Unisar. Despite the beast's aggression and capricious nature, something between them just clicks. Nomi becomes the only person who calmed down the fearsome creature, to the point where it will follow along behind them as gentle as a float cow. Nomi's magical unicorn friend is something of a celebrity among the colony. They're a big hit at princess-themed birthday parties. It's hard to believe that someone like Nomi grew up on the Heliopause. They don't just march to the beat of their own drum. They're their own brass band and acrobat troupe and free candy buffet, all in one person. They're your friend, though, through thick and thin. Oh, jeez. My heart. Your parents get to see their pioneer dreams come true. With the forests bursting with food, they're both able to lay down the burden of feeding the entire colony. They still work in geoponics, but recreationally. Your dad cultivating dizzy weed and hops. Your mom working on her personal garden of earth plants. Now that the gardeners are keeping an eye on the colony too, her earth plants flourish without threatening to take over the local flora. They live long, happy lives. You eventually return them both to the soil they love so much. Always be with you, in the ground you walk on, in the trees that give you shade, and in the cycle of life that sustains you. Your Hopeye is a good companion, but you're no replacement for its own species. Okay, so that's the same. The Vreeki's also the same. The days turn to months, eventually becoming years, then decades. Before you know it, you're old. We went to the beach that made us old, chat, and we became old. But we lived in harmony with nature. Living under the gardeners, lovingly tended like any other species in their garden, is like a paradise. The trees are heavy with fruit, the weather is mild, and the colony is unbothered by the larger xenofauna that once menaced the colony. You even see faceless ones, sometimes, sitting in clearings like inert sentinels, their broad, mossy bodies home to clusters of small animals. Over the years, a few dissenting groups refuse to believe that the entire planet is off-limits to humans. In the spirit of human expansion, they break off from the colony in search of somewhere outside of gardener influence. Some return chastised, but others never do. Pruned, just like any invasive weed. The surveyors work exhaustively to map the boundaries of human territory, The scientists and engineers work on countless simulations to test its carrying capacity. Within a few years, you have concrete numbers about how many humans can live comfortably while still maintaining equilibrium with the planet. Mother Vertumnus is generous, and humanity flourishes. There's more than enough space to live, and for future generations to enjoy as well. Hey, welcome to the Ziggurat, Gina. I hope you have a good time here. I, Plum, have forgotten to shout out Homozygote this whole time. Y'all, if y'all came over from Homozygotes, you gotta remember to follow them. So let me make it really easy for you. All right.
Why? What is your leash range? Go back in the past.
I don't know what's with my clips cutting off of late, but yeah, go back in the past. Go back in the pop. Oh, it's Jaina. Ah, okay. Thank you. I will endeavor. Sometimes words assemble strangely in my head, so feel free to remind me if I slip up until it locks in. Where was I? Right, next one. You do so well, in fact, that a gardener emissary comes to you with an offer. A second human territory. It's a show of trust, but also a chance to prove your worth by helping keep down the population of a stubborn but delicious invasive mollusk. They've prepared a proto-colony and take 100 humans to begin their new lives as a seaside community. You're sad to see them go, but it's a great sign for the future of humanity on Vertumna. It's almost like humans have become like super advanced beavers for Vertumna. Sort of like an intermediary between the gardeners, you know, working on the broad ecological management and restoration, but still having another sentient level species who can affect and terraform and shape the land. Or is it all? It happens sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've read a lot of books, and whenever you learn a lot of things from reading, you sort of form your own assumptions about how words are said. But there's also just certain things. So like cinnamon, I have to like focus on saying it to be able to say cinnamon. Like transposition of letters sometimes it just keeps hitting me now and then. But I don't know. It's minor. Things happen. You die at a ripe old age, surrounded by loved ones. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. Is that a person? They seem so familiar. You feel like you know them so well. Ow. It's you. Only ancient. His arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving his mouth, not in words, but in something like pictures. Still, you understand. He greets you with a love you can feel suffuse through your soul. You did well, he says. It's not easy to make someone put aside their ego and surrender to a greater power. Humans have tried before, and it hasn't always been pretty. His hand rests on your shoulder. I hope you can manage to do it again, because you're not done yet. I live my best life. We've been a good keeper to our friends and family, haven't we? He says warmly. We're no stranger to death, but it's still good to cheat every once in a while, isn't it? We have a chance to take another path, to change the way our life turned out. He reaches out a hand. Come with me. And then we go back to the beginning. I like how I've only gotten this one generic one because I'm SOL and got the same ending. We're still missing some of the CGs, it looks like. I feel like these are probably from the swamp. They're gonna stay dark. Okay. Refuse to fight Mars for governorship. No, Mars can do it. She can lead. She'll be a good leader. Oh, Tammy and Mars on our screen now. Oh, it's beautiful. I am frustrated that I didn't get Nomi Nomi and Anemone on here. But I guess hindsight 2020. Now, just to check real quick, the faceless cybernetic, if you remember, the faceless one, can I just load up a save that I can explore in Glow and just go and do it? Or do I have to do a bunch of other triggers before that ending is achievable? Okay, because I was gonna say, like, because we had some people rated in. I think it would be interesting to go and see that one because I am curious as to how it looks. So let me load one of my saves during Glow. I don't need to worry about it because I have the stress reduction. I have all the stress reduction stuff. Where was it? I have the calm mind and wasn't it? It's one of my pets, wasn't it? Yeah, the hop eye. Okay, so I think, is it this save? No, it's not this save. You know what? Let's load up in, because I have to have visited the thing first. Let's go to year 18. Load. Okay. And we'll just zip on to Glow real quick. We'll just rest. We'll just do a bunch of resting. Relax. Don't care. All right, this was my save like right before we worked to overthrow the fascists. All right, relax. Done. Da. Click through. Forget. Okay. Yeah. Forget saving. I'm just clicking whatever's in the left. All right. Don't make me feel bad. Okay? I didn't forget it in the real game. Okay? That's the one that mattered. Okay? Not forgetting saving Tammy in the real ending. This ending, this is the Omake run. Okay? This is the Omake ending. Okay, sneak out. What's this? It's like curious sound. Oh, it's one of them. You know, thinking back, maybe I should have explored to get more crystals when I could give a gift to Nomi Nomi every month. Because it would have been -1 from not doing an event that gives experience with her. Sorry, with them. But the crystals giving +2 each would have made up for it after a couple months. Okay, so something important will happen here, but not yet. That's not right. I know when I triggered it, I just got to there. Okay. We'll just hit a bunch of events then and see what happens. We have this. What's that curious sound? Okay. We see a manticore. Backs up against a tree. Huh. Okay, so the manticore was afraid of something. I'm not gonna eat. Oh wait, I didn't get. I don't think I got stress from that. Never mind. I was like, I need to keep my stress down because I know it's gonna. I have to sit there for a while, and it hits me with a bunch. Follow. Something big and moving. Keep going. Okay. Gaze up at the wormhole. Timey-wimey wormhole stuff? What is this card? Alright, I'm taking that one. I'll take it. I want that. That's a silly fucking card. What? That gave me stress? You. Let's talk to Sim during Glow. Okay. Yeah, I've already gone through all these on my first run, so that's why I'm zipping past them. The wormhole text was worth reading. I didn't even think about that. All right. How about now? Take some samples. No, that didn't work. You hit enough events that a faceless is standing there. I see. Okay. There's a faceless there. Okay, we got it now. I see what you mean. Sim, reduce my stress. Okay, he won't reduce my stress. Rude. Okay. So, we need to stay here and watch it. Approach where it was standing, and then we have to wait for a long time. Oh no! Oh no! All this stress I'm getting from waiting here! Oh, what am I gonna do? Oh no! I might max out and be forced to go home! Even in my first playthrough, I'm like, man, stress reduction is probably very powerful. And I was proven right. Although it takes a while. Okay. Okay, it envelops you in its tentacles, each as large as you are, and you breathe in its spores. Under the eternal night of the glow, the wormhole seems to swallow you both whole, and the entire planet, and an infinite number of universes besides. You feel a beckoning within you, a curious tug somewhere in your ribcage, a yearning you can't describe. The paradox. Get the transcend time ending. Holy shit. So this is how it all began. It's us. We were at the beginning of it, and we will be at the end. When you were very young, you had vivid dreams of things you never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles and strange animals. Now you know why. This moment of time, You on the plateau, drawing in the wild faceless's mind-altering spores and the pulsing wormhole above. This moment cascades backwards and forwards through all of time and space, through all of your lives. It's what binds you to those other lives and what gives you glimpses of them in your dreams. This moment, it's infinite. You are, in this moment, connected to all your other moments. What has been, what will be, what could be or will never be. Some scraps slip through the web and touch all the other you out there. You. All the you that could have been or has been are forever changed. To your friends in the colony, it may appear that you've fallen into a coma from which you'll never wake, but your consciousness is free. In that infinite moment, to visit all lives and possibilities at once, you have transcended. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one, shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. Okay, so we're here again. Look at you. I mean us. He shakes his data bands with good humor. I suppose that explains how we got here, Then he frowns. Does get boring though, doesn't it? Knowing everything at once? I mean, I understand if you want to go back to how things were. He looks over your shoulder into a distance you cannot see. Back when it was simple, when we only caught glimpses of the time web. Oh, to be a baby again. Just a simple, naive child. Well, I tried. We have a chance to take another path, to change the way our life turned out. Come with me. All right. You getting the ending in your first run, knowing I could have done better because of the inevitable. Yeah. I am glad I skipped it though. Like, this is nice to just kind of see the whole closure as far as the whole transcendental time thing. You know, it affected the wormhole and that faceless, and just like there is a consciousness of us that has transcended into a higher state of existence, and that consciousness of us is still connected to us, and so we get all those visions, you know, filtered through it, so that we just get them as snippets, as dreams. That's why they're always things that are possible, or things that have happened, or did happen, or didn't happen. But yeah, I think I'm really happy with Teenage Exocolonists. There's not a lot of games that really have replayability for me, and I did have a lot of concerns about how much is really different between runs in this kind of game. I don't really play a lot of visual novels because a lot of things tend to be pretty samey, but there was definitely enough variety to be worth a second playthrough for me. It definitely helps that there's such a variety of characters and things to do, that my first run, I was focusing on being, you know, a botanist, you know, helping my parents work the farms, you know, get the food for everyone, doing a little bit of science and technology on the side. I worked in the medical, helping in the hospital. But in this run, we focused a lot more on the governance, a lot more on, you know, getting to know everyone, you know, the conversational. And of course, the ability to a little bit more min-maxing, knowing when certain events are going to happen, you know, knowing, using our knowledge from our first loop to improve the second loop. It was very rewarding. I cried very hard in the first playthrough, and there were absolutely still moments in the second playthrough that made me cry again, or cry in a different way. And I'm still very happy that I experienced those. This is a hell of a game. It's probably going to be my game of the year, because it's tackling big themes It has a lot of big topics it's covering. I think it covers them very well. It ties them into a cast of characters that are very varied. It has inclusivity built into it in a way that is something I think a lot more games should aspire to. The writing is beautiful. Never mind my couple pedantic nitpicks. There's great character arcs. Even if some of them I may disagree with, I can still understand why those characters went that way. Also, yes, the fact that every card has the artist noted on it is amazing. I think we actually had one of the artists came by while I was streaming my first playthrough. So it's actually pretty fun to be like, this card, yeah, they did that art, you know. That was just really cool. I like how it makes it really easy to find the artist if you like that style, you know. That's real nice. I think a second playthrough is almost required because it's the central conceit of the game. Yeah, I feel like after a second playthrough, it certainly is diminishing returns. But yeah, Teenage Exocolonist, great game. If you haven't played it, if seeing me talk about just like the epilogue and gush about it isn't enough, like I don't know what else I could tell you to get you to play this game.
Hello, this is Dreki of the post-production. Thank you for watching or listening to this series, whether it was background noise while you worked, experiencing a game vicariously, or you just like my thoughts and reactions. Feel free to leave a question, comment, or suggestion of a similar game if I haven't played it. I stream on Twitch as Dreki Ormer if you wish to see things live and unedited. Regardless, have a great rest of your time zone, and I appreciate the time we shared. Bye!